I've been a criminal defense lawyer for 13 years. I've worked on all types of cases, from a speeding ticket to manslaughter and everything in between. I've learned a lot in my career, and I wanted to share some of those things with you today. There are three basic roles of a criminal defense lawyer. First is a guide through the complex and idiosyncratic legal system. Second is as a storyteller, outlining the client's unique circumstances and situations. And third is as a combatant, using cross-examination and meticulous legal arguments to try to win the case. But in terms of decision-making, being a lawyer is more like being a poker player. Two lawyers on a case don't start out from equal positions like a chess game or a tennis match. The positions are often significantly imbalanced, and the lawyer's job is to make the best out of the hand that they're dealt. With that background in mind, I wanted to talk about three things today: advocacy, definitions, and resiliency. When I say advocacy, I mean trying to persuade someone of something. I think there's a common misconception that lawyers try and use some kind of rhetorical tricks or verbal sleight of hand to convince someone of their position, but that's almost universally not the case. Legal cases are broken down into three simple questions. What are the facts? What is the rule? And how does the rule apply? Good advocacy will break down the issue and highlight it. Otherwise, it's just chaos. Think of a dinner table political argument where everyone has their own facts, statistics, value judgments. It's too messy to figure anything out. Once the issue has been highlighted, the next step is to suggest reasonable alternatives. And that can be with respect to the facts, the rule, or the application of the rule. Going back to the facts, lawyers use a tool called cross-examination, which is asking questions. Generally, you're trying to pin someone down to a story, challenge them on the details, and suggest alternatives. I thoroughly cross-examine my children all the time. My son might say something like, "Mom said I could play video games." First, I pin him down. "You're sure she said that?" "Yeah, she said I could play Fortnite." Second, I challenge him on the details. "Were those the exact words she said?" "Well, no, she said I could have quiet time, and I assume that meant video games." Three, suggest alternatives. "You agree with me that quiet time could also mean reading." "Well, yeah, but..." "Go get a book." In terms of suggesting alternatives for the rules or the application of the rules, similar techniques apply. Asking questions and suggesting alternatives. The questions you might ask about the rule are, is it fair to the parties involved? What are the short-term and long-term implications? And are there any loopholes? In our family, a rule we might have to figure out is where to go on vacation. Should the parents decide? Should the kids decide? How long should the flight be? Should it have unique cultural experiences? Will it be safe? Will it be fun? Our house rule might look something like this. We're going to go to a place with unique cultural experiences that's safe and fun, and that has a Disney theme park. So far, we've settled on Tokyo or Paris. When asking questions and suggesting alternatives, it allows the decision maker to come to the conclusion on their own, which is the best kind of advocacy there is. So we've made it this far, but going back, some of the words we used in our travel example need to be defined. What are unique cultural experiences? What is safe and what is fun? When we went to England, I thought it would be fun to do a lengthy tour of the Tower of London. Because no one shared my definition of fun, I went alone. Courts use definitions all the time. Rarely is a definition subsumed by one single factor. Usually it's the cumulative nature of many factors. And people's knee-jerk reaction is to look for the essence of something, the one definitive factor. But I say to you that that's often elusive. So I love baseball and I love home runs. So I'm going to use a home run as an example. A home run is a ball batted over the fence. Easy. Okay, but it also has to be in fair play and during a game. But I'll suggest to you that there are some situations where a ball hasn't been batted over the fence and still counts as a home run. In 1993, a fly ball was hit to the warning track in right field. Jose Canseco went to catch it, lost the ball in the lights, the ball bounced off his head and went over the fence. A few weeks ago, the Blue Jays were playing the Tampa Bay Rays, and a ball was hit to the outfield fence. A fan with an outstretched arm caught the ball. It sure looked like it didn't go over the fence, but they couldn't figure it out, and a home run was awarded. Now, on the other side of the coin, a player can hit it clearly over the fence, 450 feet into the second deck. But if the player's admiring their hit so much that they forget to touch first base on their way around the infield, then it's an out and doesn't count as a home run. So not so obvious after all. For most things, there is a general rule, like the ball batted over the fence. But for nearly everything on Earth, there are exceptions and multiple factors to consider, and rarely is there one single determinative factor with a definition. The final thing that I wanted to talk with you about today is resiliency. So it's easy to get jaded about crime. I get jaded from time to time, but I have a bit of a unique perspective on the issue because I get to see people both when they're on the streets and when they've been in jail or treatment for a long period of time. When clients get sobriety, shelter, sleep, food, and medication, they change. They change back into normal people. I had a client who I saw pushing a shopping cart around town, disheveled, yelling at people, getting arrested constantly for vagrancy offenses. When he was in the courthouse cells, he screamed bloody murder until the other inmates threatened to beat him up. I saw him a few months later in the jail after he'd been there for some time. He was showered, shaved, articulate, friendly. He talked to me about philosophy, about the books he was reading, and the plans to go to university. It was shocking. He was thoughtful and intelligent and completely unlike the person I had seen months before. I have another client that I represented for years. He has a lengthy criminal record for property offenses related to drug addiction. A couple of years ago, he got arrested. We got him released on bail to a treatment facility. He thrived. He completed the treatment program. He re-enrolled in college and completed his college degree. He enrolled in university. He did so well in university that his professors took him to an elite university to present his research findings. He even started his own nonprofit treatment center using the things he learned through addiction and recovery to help others. He's nearly done university and he has plans to go to law school. This is a guy who fell down repeatedly but got up again, a guy that used his unique experiences straddling two worlds to change lives. Addiction strips people of their humanity, but the human spirit lays dormant. It's not lost. Through sobriety, sleep, shelter, food, and medication, it can come back again. That's what keeps me from being jaded, and that's what gives me hope. Thank you.